Hi YouTube, thanks for watching my videos on my CNC Lathe project. This machine is from 1994, and so I've made the decision after talking to some people and reading online that I should replace all of the capacitors, at least all the smaller ones. And they do have a shelf life to them. And so instead of testing all of them and taking them out, I'm going to see what I can do to just order new ones. So today I'm generating a bill of materials of all of the capacitors on the machine. Some of them are accessible without removing boards, others will require board removal. I got one pulled off here. I got my electronic static mat, just picked one of these up so I can do this properly. I do have a few questions if you watch the video about how to take this apart safely, because my goal is to not wreck anything. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't. So this DC power supply has a lot of capacitors on it, so I'm going to be taking this out. I'm going to discharge some capacitors here. Okay. Don't get shocked. So one thing to know, doing this is not for the faint of heart. I've got 3 of the 4 screws out of this power supply, and there's one more deep down in here that I can't even get to, so I'm rotating it like this to see if that'll help me get to it. So even turning this thing isn't good enough, so I've got this labeler here, and I'm going to start labeling all the wires. So I'm just starting at 1. I'm going to remove this capacitor and get it out of the way. I may not change these largest ones here, so I'm going to leave this large. There's a large transformer here. I'm going to leave that in place. Everything is put together with metal on this thing. I love this thing. So that's just gonna go back there now. I've got a little more room. This is really challenging. I've got a Allen wrench right there that, if you can see it, I've got it on that screw. Let's see, if I lift up on this thing, then I'll be able to tell. Okay, I've got it disconnected. Now I'm going to make an observation here about the quality control on the Rhino. There is a screw right here that is missing a nut on the backside for this transformer right here. That's interesting. So now I'm gonna label the remaining wires that have to be removed before I can pull this out. Alright, what you're looking at here now is a view from the side of the machine, and then the back of the machine is here where my hand is. There's also a board right here that a whole bunch of connectors plug into. And over here is one of the wires that goes to the DC power supply. So I'm gonna label that one, but this thing has got just an unbelievable number of circuit boards on it. All right, I've got all of the wires unhooked from this. They're all labeled. One of them goes to the large transformer, one of them is incoming power, and then another one goes to an I/O board on the back here. So this should do it. There we go. It is out. So up to the bench top for this piece next to get all of the capacitors identified. Okay. Well, here is the transformer. Got these things on the back. Don't ask me what those are. So I'm counting, good Lord, there's a lot of circuit boards and a lot of capacitors on. I got 8 capacitors right here. So I'm gonna get those labeled. Now I've got these capacitors right here. I think they're capacitors, but they have a, I don't know what this is, if it's a flexible wire or what. Maybe it's just a hard wire, but they're not really labeled. It has a brand name on it and an arrow. That's it. Those must be capacitors. I don't know. But then I've got these right here too, that they double stacked them on top of each other. Now these ones I have, I think, the information I need, but not really sure about these ones. So if anyone's got any comments on that, that would be great. I've got almost all of my capacitors cataloged now, but I'm realizing that I'm not sure how to remove these boards from the power supply. On the back side of this thing, there's 3 of these, whatever these things are, and they have two screws right there, and you can see them on the top. In fact, on the board you can see an outline of that shape that's on the bottom with the dashed line there, and then you can see the 1, 2 screws. So I can undo those screws, but it looks like that solder pin right there, that solder connection right there, is going in there, and it's going through there. You can kind of see it in the video. So how do I, actually there's 2 of them. So how do I do that? I'm gonna reach this, I'm gonna reach this scale in here and point to it. I'm hitting it right there. The end of the ruler is resting on it, but it's there's two pins right there, and oops. So there's 2 pins right there and right there. So the question is, if I take out those 2 screws, there's nothing else holding this circuit board in place. What's going to happen with those 2 soldered connections if I do that? I have the same situation on the other side. There's 2 of those things, and they have the same pins extending through. I should mention that, you know, this is the model number of this thing. You can kind of see it here. It says it's a regulated power supply. From here on out in the video, I'm showing a series of pictures that I took before I started taking things apart in the back of the machine. This is not the control cabinet with the keyboard and the display, but this is documenting the condition of everything before I start taking it apart. So thanks a lot for watching, and please like and subscribe if you haven't already.